Hello, and welcome to this interview question and answer series video. My name is Mike, and I am one of the career advisors over at careerbuildingjobs.com. Today, we are going to talk about the common interview question. Tell me about the time when you communicated effectively in a difficult situation. It's a super popular interview question, regardless of what level you are at with your career. This question is frequently asked in interviews because it directly relates to the challenges encountered in the workplace. Effective communication, especially in difficult situations where the proverbial has hit the fan, is a vital skill. It's not just about conveying information, but it's also about reacting appropriately under stress or conflict. This question offers you an opportunity to showcase your communication skills, your emotional intelligence, and your ability to handle pressure, which are key attributes in any professional role. In this video, we'll first explore how to effectively structure your answer to this question. We'll delve into the common pitfalls to avoid when responding, ensuring that you understand not just what to do, but also what not to do. Following that, we'll guide you on how to select the most appropriate example to enhance your answer. And then finally, we'll demonstrate all these points with a real-life example. If you're not bothered about the rest of the stuff and just want to jump directly to the example answer, there's a timestamp link provided in the description below that will send you straight there. Also in the description notes is a link to an article on this topic, should you wish to read instead of listening to my voice. Now let's begin with answer structure. These type of questions, often called competency-based questions, are all about sharing your experience with the interviewer. The interviewer wants to hear what you did, how you did it, and maybe most important of all, why you did it. In order to achieve this, your answer needs to be well structured. You need to ensure that you hit all the key points that you want the interviewer to hear in a logical order, while also avoiding the urge to ramble on. The best way to pull this off is by using the B-star method. Using this technique, you will split your answer into 5 individual parts. The first is the B, which stands for belief. You want to begin your response by sharing your thoughts and feelings regarding the subject matter. This helps set the stage for your answer and demonstrate your personal connection to the topic. If this doesn't make much sense to you, don't worry, there will be an example answer using this structure later in this video. Next up, we have S for situation. Briefly describe the context or background of the scenario in which your actions took place. This provides the interviewer with an understanding of the circumstances surrounding your experience. Remember, it's essential to keep this part concise, as the primary focus should be on your actions and the results. Just giving the interviewer the quick who, what, where, when, and why. Following the situation, we have T for task. Explain your specific role and responsibilities in the situation. By doing this, you highlight what you were entrusted with in your previous roles and also lets the interviewer understand what expectations were made of you within the situation at hand. Up next, we have the most important section, and that is A for action, or activity if you prefer. Describe the steps you took to achieve the desired outcome and explain the rationale behind your actions. This part of your answer should be the most detailed, as it illustrates your problem-solving abilities, relevant skills, and adaptability in handling challenges. And finally, we have R for the results. Conclude your response with the results of your actions, using figures or quantifiable outcomes whenever possible. This will demonstrate to the interviewer the impact of your efforts and your ability to deliver tangible results in your role. This is also where you could share any lessons you learned from the experience. What the interviewer is looking for when asking this question, and we know how we're going to structure our answer. But before we start building out our masterpiece, let's talk about some of the interview no-nos that you're going to want to dodge. Here's some things that you should not do when answering this question. Number 1, don't focus on the negative or assign blame to others. The example given there on the screen does not make the candidate look good. The answer puts the focus on the other person's behavior rather than on the communication skills the candidate used to resolve the situation. The second thing you should not do when answering the question is to give a vague or generic answer. This question includes the phrase, "tell me about the time." This means that interviewers want to hear specific examples. Avoid providing a response that isn't based on an actual experience or one that lacks detail and doesn't showcase your own actions. Third and finally, do not be overbearing. Remember, this is a question about effective communication. The example given here makes the candidate sound like a bit of a crank. You know the type of person who makes everyone in their vicinity miserable and is just a pain to work with. In your answer, you should avoid anything that obstructs open dialogue. Your example should be one with a positive environment where everyone is free to share their ideas. Our response, and we have also looked at pitfalls to avoid when answering this question. Next, let's delve into selecting the most effective example to use in our answer. Think about the following points when you are coming up with stories from your experience to tell the interviewer. The first thing your answer should have is a positive outcome. Choose an example that can only be described as a success driven by you and one which you can use to showcase the benefits of your actions. This is not to say you can't have taken lessons away from the venture, and it's always good to talk about how you would improve upon your actions in the future. But the underlying situation should be resolved successfully when you are outlining your answer. The second thing your example should be is relevant to the job you are applying for. Choose an example that is closely related to the job you're applying for. An example that is from the same industry or sector would be the most preferable. A good trick here would be to learn what upcoming work your new team has in the pipeline and use examples from your past that are relevant to that work. And finally, your example should represent a challenge. Look for examples where you faced a significant challenge or problem and were able to resolve it effectively. Put simply, you are trying to impress the interviewer. Make sure your example isn't some run-of-the-mill situation that anyone could have fixed. Pick an example which shows that only you had the skills or know how to get the job done. Now let's put everything we've learned so far together with an example answer. Once again, the question being answered is, tell me about a time when you communicated effectively in a difficult situation. And here we go. I believe that proper planning and training is the most effective way to get out of most difficult situations. Sure, you cannot plan for everything, but if you prepare as best you can, you will be happy to fall back on that preparedness when difficult situations arise. Recently, while working on a major software deployment at my current employer, I was tasked with being the go live day coordinator. This meant that I had to communicate with the IT team, the business team, and senior stakeholders all throughout the deployment. We took the servers down for 4 hours to deploy and 2 hours to test before release. During these 6 hours, it was my job to receive status updates from the IT teams and to facilitate the communication between IT areas. I also needed to communicate with the business team during the testing so that any issues were raised through the IT team for fixing and then back for retesting. All of this had to be done without delay, otherwise we would not meet our 6-hour target. On top of this, it was expected I provide hourly updates to senior management. In order to prepare for this, I needed to establish a communication strategy. We use teams within the organization, so I created a number of new team groups so that information could flow through easily. I also established a backup WhatsApp group for the IT team and the testing team. This came in handy when all of our systems went down partway through the activity. Even though the whole 6 hours felt like one long, continuous, hectic process, we were never hindered by a lack of communication. All information was provided as and when it was needed, thanks to the effective planning that took place earlier. At the end of the day, the deployment was completed successfully and on time. Alright then, that wraps up our analysis of this interview question. I hope by watching this video you'll be more prepared for this question the next time you are asked. Speaking of being prepared, are there any interview questions that you struggle with every time you are asked, regardless of how well you prepare? Drop a comment below with the question that's been giving you a hard time, and we will dedicate our very next video to breaking it down, giving you the strategies to tackle it with confidence. Your input is invaluable, and together we can make your next interview your best one yet. And as always, if you like our videos, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, keep practicing, stay positive. Your dream job is just around the corner. Take care.